Okay, so I think I might have just had some sort of avatar moment. Um, just had a dream where it started out kind of like a normal dream, kind of hazy, not really seeing a whole lot. Then it went through the basic recap of everything you've seen for the past day or so. Stuff on TV shows, movies, pop culture, stuff like that. And then it changed. I woke up and I was sitting in the audience of a theater, a play in the 1800s. It had to be the 1800s. Everybody was dressed in Victorian clothing. They, they spoke much more sophisticatedly than anybody else that I've ever talked to. And I was in the audience and watching the play. Everything was good. Everybody was happy, laughing. And then I heard the sound of a pop, a very loud pop. And then I heard a woman scream. When I heard that woman scream, it's like instantly my perspective changed to someone that was sitting up in the balcony of the same theater watching the same play. And I looked down at myself. I was wearing a nice black and white suit, surrounded by people dressed just as nicely. And I looked to my left. When I looked to my left, all of a sudden I'm staring down the barrel of a flintlock pistol. And I stare and I look for a second, and when I do, it's like just like before, my perspective changes again, and suddenly it morphs around, and I'm the person holding the pistol, and I see the person that I'm aiming at, and it looks exactly like Abraham Lincoln, and it's crazy. And then I see myself holding the pistol, and it's what history has told me John Wilkes Booth looks like. And suddenly I can't control it, but I pull the trigger of the pistol. And I can feel my hand, my finger, all the tendons in my arm as it pulls the trigger of the pistol. But at the same time, it's like multiple perspectives on the same event. As I feel myself pull the trigger on the pistol, I feel the bullet exit the pistol's barrel and enter the back of my head, the same way that Abraham Lincoln died. And I hit the floor. At the same time, I run away. And perspective goes back to what would be Abraham Lincoln's place, and I'm laying there staring up at people running around me, scurrying, people kneeling over me trying to help me. And then the next thing I know, I'm standing in the middle of a field. I've seen the field before, but I'm not sure where it is. And in this field, it's filled with people. It's people I've never seen before. I'm certain I've seen some of them because Popular science would have me believe that every I see in dreams is a face I've seen before in life. But these people are standing around, walking around, doing their own thing, not paying any attention to me. Then I see my grandfather, my papa. He's standing there maybe 20, 25 feet away in front of me. And he's talking to somebody. I'm not sure who he's talking to. And I'm glad to see him. I'm happy. And I run towards him. He turns and looks at me and he says, "Hey boy, how you been?" And I turn and I can finally see who he was talking to, and it was my Uncle Bud, which was my grandma's brother, who died a couple years ago. And he greets me with the same way Papa did. And I get to thinking, both of these men that I've always looked up to in life, that I always looked up to as a child, they're gone. They passed away. And then I get to looking around, and it's not people that I don't know. It's people that I've always known. I may not have seen them. It doesn't make sense, but I may not have seen them before, but I know them. Almost like I used to know them. And then I see a couple more people that I used to know. My best friend all throughout elementary and middle school, Devin Miller. I see him. And it's at that moment that I realize I may not be. It's hard to explain. I think I might have seen part of the afterlife. And we're all standing around, they're talking to each other. Some of them acknowledge that I'm there, others act like I'm not there at all. But then it's like mist, smoke, fog, something that surrounds me, and everybody there is gone. Next thing I know, it's my family. Mama, Daddy, Joey, Tiffany, Wesley, Alex, Steven, and a little bit Uncle Mike, Aunt Teresa, Uncle James, Angela, Dusty, TJ, Aaron, everybody. Grandma's there. And we're all just cutting a fool, just like we used to around Christmas time when everybody would get together. Cutting a fool, making jokes, catching up. And then after I leave, I know this is my family, this is where I belong. But for some reason I decide to leave. And when I leave, I go down a dark hallway. I don't know how I get to a dark hallway from an open field. But I do. I get to a dark hallway. There's a light. Not like people perceive death to be. How there's a bright light at the end of a long tunnel. It's not like that. It's different. And so I decide not to shy away from it like I'm gonna die. I go into it. And I see the face of a man I've never met before. And After a minute or two of being confused, seeing this man, seeing other people I've never seen before, starts to look to me like a hospital room. And then is where it gets really weird, because I see that I'm a baby, an infant, and I'm being handed to my own mother, Mama Kay Van Horn. And I realize that's me. It's when I was born 22 years ago. It's the moment, the second I was born. And as soon as I realized that, just like all these other shifts, different things that occur in dreams, it changes, and I'm laying in a hospital bed. Not a baby anymore, full grown. And I look down at my hands, they're wrinkled, liver spots. I don't know if I was sick or if I was old. But it was me, and I was about to die. I was on IV oxygen, pretty much on life support. People around me, mainly doctors. Just like before, a couple people I didn't quite recognize. And then I hear the heart monitor. It goes flat. The flat tone that you always hear when someone dies. And when that happened, I woke up. I looked at my clock. It was 7:15 in the morning. I tried my best to catch my breath. I was short of breath. I didn't understand what the hell was going on. If it was a dream, if it was real. I felt like I'd been crying. So I lay there and stare at the ceiling for the next 10 minutes. After that 10 minutes, I go back to sleep. I slowly start falling back to sleep. And just like before, it starts all over. All from the beginning, the same thing. It does it again. Everything. Same way it happened. The theater, the field, the hospital bed, being handed to my mom, all of it. Then I wake up again. I force myself awake this time because it starts to scare me. When I look at the clock, it's 9:30. 2 hours later. It felt like seconds. I just have to say, without a doubt, this has been one of the most profound, psychologically scarring, delving into my past and future, and I think I might have literally just had an avatar moment. My own personal avatar moment. Crazy.